Hello YouTubers, Curtis Hansel here with Worth the Trip. Hey, we are about to head out and spend a day in the oldest continuously occupied city in the United States. That's St. Augustine, Florida. So, won't you come along? So St. Augustine was founded in 1565. That's 55 years before the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. It wasn't until about, it was after 1808 that they built a wall around the city. And these are the old city gates through which everybody who came into St. Augustine passed. Walking through the city gates will take you to St. George Street, the heart of historic St. Augustine, where you'll find shops, restaurants, bakeries, galleries, and lots of history. The old drugstore was built in 1739. It was moved to its current location in 1887. This schoolhouse is over 200 years old, the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the nation. It was the residence of Juan Janopoli, who in the 1700s opened his doors to children to teach them to read and write English and do arithmetic. The Hospital Museum is the reconstruction of a military hospital that stood on this site in the 1700s. Less than a mile north of the old city gates is Magnolia Avenue. Now, some people say that this is the most photographed street in the United States, and when you get there, you'll see why. Park your car, get out, and walk under literally a canopy of old, overreaching magnolia branches. This is on my you definitely don't want to miss this list. Just off of Magnolia Avenue is the Fountain of Youth, claimed by Ponce de Leon when he discovered Florida in 1513. Now, a little bit of Ponce de Leon trivia. When Ponce de Leon sailed here, he sailed on 3 ships: the Santiago, the San Cristobal, and the Santa Maria. Yes, the same Santa Maria that earlier came to America with Columbus. Remember, he sailed on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Now, whether this is the actual fountain of youth that has been referenced by so many cultures and societies is still up for debate. But one thing's for sure, that a mere 600 feet from the Fountain of Youth stands the Old Senator. This oak tree is over 600 years old and was here when Ponce de Leon discovered the Fountain of Youth. So I'm thinking there's got to be something good in the water here. Okay, when the sun's out, it can get plenty warm here, so bring some some sunscreen and a hat. It's time for me to break out the old worth the trip ball cap. How's that? Make sure you visit the old Castillo de San Marcos Spanish fort. This is the oldest structure in St. Augustine, and at over 300 years old, it is also the oldest masonry fort in the continental U.S. There are many old churches in St. Augustine. We stopped by the Cathedral Basilica on St. George Street. It was nice to sit and relax for a minute, enjoy some peace and quiet, and soak up some air conditioning. Make sure you stop by the Leitner Museum. Even if you don't pay the admission to see the exhibits, there are things to see in the lobby area, and the inner courtyard and the gardens are absolutely gorgeous. Make sure you take a walk down Treasury Street, the narrowest street in the United States. Legend has it that Treasury Street was designed just wide enough, at 6 feet 1 inch wide, for 2 men to carry a chest of gold to and from the Royal Spanish Treasury and the water, but not wide enough for a horse and a carriage to drive through and steal it. Grab my thumb. The cemetery is actually one of the more popular places in St. Augustine, and the reason I know that the cemetery is so popular is because people are just dying to get here. dying to get here. If you head over to the St. Augustine Marina, you can book a number of excursions and harbor tours. We decided to take a 1-hour historical boat tour to break up the day. So that's St. Augustine. Hey, we parked our car and paid $15 for the day and walked to everything you saw in the video. So everything was within walking distance of the old downtown area. The old senator tree was outside of town about, well, a little more than half a mile. So be aware of that, but we did walk to that. And it was a full day of walking. And mind you, we didn't go to any of the museums or the Castillo San Marcos fort was not open when we were there. And so any of those attractions that you would pay to go to, some of them, depending on what you go to, worth your time and money, but you would require more time, obviously. So there's so much to do in St. Augustine that a couple of days would still be very full days if you did those kinds of things. The only thing that we paid money for other than the parking was the harbor tour on the boat, and that was well worth it to break up the day and sit down, relax, and learn some history from that perspective. So I do recommend that. And that was, I think, that was $17, I believe, a person, but I would highly recommend that. So, hey, I hope you liked it. If you did, would you please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell next to it so you're reminded when we put new things on, when new videos come. That really helps me. I appreciate that. And if there's some place you think I should check out, send me an email. You never know, I may just show up on your doorstep and say, here I am, let you prove to me it was worth the trip. And so, hey, until next time, remember, people matter, so be kind to one another out there. And until then, go take a trip.